Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Expendables 4, or as it's written everywhere, Expend4bles. So, sure, have fun Googling that. So, as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. To start off the furry, nothing relevant. Moving on to the good and the bad. So, this movie is the fourth in the series, linked from my description in the description down below for my reviews of the others. But Sylvester Stallone, not as big of an appearance in this one as in the previous installments. So this one is much more of a starring Jason Statham. It also has Megan Fox for some fucking reason. Like I don't dislike Megan Fox, but I don't buy her as being on the team of Expendables, and I absolutely 100% do not buy her as the leader of the Expendables at some point. Like that, there's no realm where all these dudes are like, yeah, that this makes sense to have you in charge of us, especially with like her command style, if you will. It boggles my mind why they thought this was a good decision, but whatever. It also has not Terry Crews still, but they do have Dolph Lundgren, which is good. I like him. I like his character development, if you will. Randy Couture. It also has 50 Cent, and I don't know why they don't have Antonio Banderas in this, because they definitely have a dude who looks like Antonio Banderas, but is just younger, and their explanation is like, oh, that's his son. Like, it seemed like Antonio Banderas' character really fucking wanted to be here in the other one, and he's just not in this one. So it's like the writers were like, oh, we're definitely going to get Antonio Banderas for this, and it's going to be awesome, so we're going to write a part for him, and yada yada. And then Antonio Banderas was like, unavailable, or give me more money. I don't know what actually happened there, but it's just really weird to me because, I mean, don't get me wrong, the kid does a fantastic job of doing an Antonio Banderas from Expendables 3, but, you know, as his son. But it was weird to me. Like, just fucking pay Antonio Banderas what he wants and get him in there. Also, the, like, CIA agent that replaced whoever they had, that replaced Bruce Willis, like, whoever this new guy is, I don't know. So, when Expendables 1 came out, it was like, hey, action stars from the heyday having a one last go of badassery. And then they had a little bit of that, like, they still had kind of that going in 2, but they brought in some other bullshit. And then 3, like, so, I don't know. When the Expendables started, it was about badass action heroes from yore. And now, who the fuck is this guy? In no realm is he an action star. I don't remember him being an action star whatsoever. The only thing that I vaguely remember him being was some type of comedy level actor, and that was kind of whatever. I don't know. Just it seems like the Expendables have kind of lost their way a little bit, in my opinion. Anywho, moving on from just the actor choices. By the way, I do want to point out that it does have Tony Jaa, which I'm super stoked about because Tony Jaa is a badass motherfucker. And it also has, and I don't remember his name, I'm sorry, but it also has the dude from The Raid. Yeah, that badass motherfucker. So he's in this, and he does a fantastic job. So I'm so glad that those those two actors are in the same movie together for however they're going to work it. I do like that they managed to get those two, and I want those two to be in more action movies because they're awesome. So good, good casting choices there at least. And then they also had some other random chick on the Expendables for whatever reason. I don't even remember. I don't think she was the one from last time, but whatever. She's whatever. So the storyline of this one is CIA guy tasked them to go do shit. Then shit happens, and then they have to go do other shit. Like, you've seen an Expendables movie. That's kind of what you're getting. But man, the CGI in this is so bad. Like, it's like having Megan Fox in charge of your Expendables level bad. Especially the beginning. The beginning is full of just terrible shit. Like they have, and it's the beginning, so I'm not really spoiling it for you. But just imagine, if you will, there's this whole Libya compound that has like tanks and armored troop carriers and blah blah blah, and then these dudes roll in, and the CGI to like blow up the tank doesn't even really blow up the tank, but the guys still get out of it so that Tony Jaa can do his badass thing. Or not, sorry, not Tony Jaa, the other guy. Anywho, point being, so they do all these things, like they take out tanks and armored personnel carriers and yada yada yada, and then the Expendables come with like two, I don't know, glorified dune buggies with 50 cals on them, and sure, okay, and then you have their like C-130 knockoff flying around that gets surface to air missile fire on it, and so he's being their Overwatch, and he's just like circling in this cargo plane, and yeah, he's shooting off flares, but like the surface to air missile system that they're showing has many, many missiles, and shockingly, he runs out of flares. But like, it's so dumb that these guys are going up against that huge force with two dune buggies with 50 cals, and then like how they nerf the 50 cal and get it out of the picture is dumb, and then the fact that he's been like flying around doing over, like, what does he fucking do? You could do that with a drone, like a handheld drone, and just, you don't need this big ass C-130 flying overhead. And gosh, you'll be so surprised to know that he runs out of flares and then gets shot down, and Jason Statham tries to save it. Like, just, it's so contrived what they do in order to take out Sylvester Stallone's character for the majority of this movie. And it's just, it's dumb. It's dumb. And then the like sexy fight foreplay thing that Jason Statham and Megan Fox do, not at all believable. There's no chemistry between them whatsoever. I feel like him and Charisma Carpenter had actual chemistry, but whatever. Clearly not playing the same character. But yeah, I liked Randy Couture. He had some fun bits, even though it's kind of the same repeated bit, but that's kind of the fun part about it. But I don't know, man. It's just so many instances, like just that opening sequence of how they're fighting these guys, and they like drive into a factory and they're like fighting back and forth and shooting things and then jumping from one vehicle to the other, and in this like factory that must be 10 miles long, and you know, the Expendables never getting shot, but they're shooting everybody else, and it's not a fun, unbelievable thing, because they're playing this much more serious than it would need to be for the level of ridiculousness that is shown on screen. And that's on top of, again, the really shitty CGI of like their plane landing to drop them out the back and then taking out, like, horrible CGI. And I'd say that kind of is consistent throughout. I will say that it's rated R this time, so there's a lot more, at least a few more F words, and then there's a bit more gruesome deaths of like, oh, somebody's head blasted off or whatever. But it's still bad CGI of that. And it's just, towards, I would say, the last half to maybe a third of the movie, I did enjoy it enough. Like, I enjoyed the fight sequences enough at that point, and you know, I still like some of the characters, that I did enjoy the movie, but it was real close to getting a thumbs down because of just all of the lead up and just things that it doesn't jive well. So I would say that, you know, if you're a fan of the Expendables series, you'll probably still find this one okay, but just understand this is not a great entry in the Expendables series, and I would not be surprised if they didn't get another one because of just this one. I guess they just ran out of 80s and 90s and, I don't know, even early 2000s badass stars, and now they're just kind of getting what they can get. I don't know what their philosophy is with this movie series anymore. It started as one thing, and they have lost their way. So, yeah, just the circumstances for even some of the fights, it was just like, okay, you're just clearly doing this to have this cool badass moment, even though it doesn't make any sense with what is going on. So I'm not going to get any more into that, because then I feel like I'll get into spoiler territory. But much of the movie's plot is dumb shit that doesn't make any sense and was not fun. So really just being able to see some of my actors that I like fight in cool fight sequences, getting around the shitty fight sequences and the shitty CGI and the shitty plot, is what really kind of saved this movie for me. So that's all I have to say for this one. Barely a thumbs up, mostly a thumbs down for, I think, people who are not as big of a fan of those people, but that's kind of the audience for this, so I don't fucking know, man. Just see it or don't. That's where we're at this point. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.